Sama, Dhamma, Uparati. First three out of the six treasures through Viveka separates me from that situation. So that is one thing, is that I'm in peace, and the stress continues. It is something like you have a storm outside and you kept the main door open. And then you say everything is calm, it will not work. Yeah. Very good. That way is also good. And if that is happening, that I'm in peace and you move into the peace, it means internally the mind is preparing itself to live into higher awareness. Because the moment you remember I'm the peace, obviously the mind instantly moves to a higher awareness. And later on you reflect. That too is a good way to do it. Another way that you just, yeah, I gave an example that the storm is outside and you leave the door open. So, and then you are dreaming that I will be in peace. It is not possible. So, what is that means here in terms of the door is kept open? That my desire, my attachment, emotional dependence is there somewhere deep inside, either in a current situation or in because of the prarabdha, because of the vasanas, because of the vasanas. So the more and more we contemplate and reflect, this is what the listening and learning is all about: contemplation and reflection. When we move into being a higher seeker, so that is a good point. Your approach is also good, and this approach is also good. Another point that is very important to remind your mind: drop being a consumer of the world, become a contributor by connecting. What it means: you're talking to your honey, you're talking to your daughter, you're talking to your employees. See that how you can be a contributor, not a consumer. Consumer means what? My desire still remains within. And that desire is always present within attachment. And I'm a contributor. Oh, let me contribute in this situation of the world. Let me evolve from this situation. Your focus is there. In the business, you want to earn money. That's okay. But now, how to contribute to the growth and the evolution of this situation? How to evolve and grow in relationship? So it means you are living in Viveka. You are living in Viveka. So everything is happening inside the mind. Nobody knows. And you are evolving. Another way, sarve, mentally you are saying sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Now that knowledge, what is that knowledge? That let everyone be happy. Because when I am a consumer, I want to be happy, leaving the rest. But when I am doing this mantra, let everyone be happy, why happiness is the essential nature of every living species, including the human beings. So this employee, second, he is a human being searching for the same peace and happiness. So I become a contributor. Just by thinking. Emotional contributor. Knowledge contributor. You see? Emotional contributor. That means you move with an affection to the people. That is where the Buddha talks about the compassion. And everything has to be done at the intellectual level. You are getting rid of being a consumer. Let everyone be in peace. And now you see the guy in front of you enters into anxiety. You have an opportunity. You have an opportunity. So remember, this is very important at the higher level of your seeking, that you change the entire perception coming through your mind about the world. Projection, you are removing the projection. Everyone is seeking peace and happiness. Now you consciously engage yourself, whether it is emotionally, intellectually, physically, financially, whatever the situation is. Whatever the situation. To a daughter, I will pay you, provided it is better if you change from this state to the other state. I did not attach paying you the fees and paying you all the expenses with what you are doing. Do you see? I'm not attaching it. So what it means? There is no ego attached to what I'm doing for the daughter. I told you my story also. You see that? So you have to change your perception. And the perception changes because through the viveka, through vairagya. One person was asking that, what is the need of vairagya? So a higher level of viveka is vairagya. And still higher level of vairagya is six treasures. We have changed the name. Instant viveka is there. And the moment instant viveka, the guy in front of you trying to make you crazy, and the instant viveka comes, and that guy is self-defeated. Because in the presence of your viveka. Another point is also a little deeper. If you contemplate and reflect, you said the world outside still causes me the anxiety, and I do it and I change. So it may be because of the past impression, the prarabdha, the habit and the behavior and the attitude that keeps on continuing. So if you are doing it regularly, it will change. It will change. It has to change. It has to change. Knowledge is such a power. Ignorance also has a great power, and knowledge also has a great power. Why the ignorance has a power? It puts me into anxiety. So I remove the ignorance, one method that you have done, and other method that we have talked about it. You see the importance of the first 12 topics that validates that there is a binary format. And I see the world outside as a matter. Matter is not conscious, it is inert. How the inert can put me into anxiety? Bring this thought. How? No possibility at all. You see, the smile comes to me, how this inert? I'm talking to this guy. No, I'm talking to this body and the mind. Consciousness. So, you see how the Mangalacharan brings. That is why we had the question and answer in the first 12 topics. And then we discussed about Anubandha Chatushtaya in the topic number 14 and the 15. Another point that is also very important. Repeat 1,000,000 times this week into your mind. My goal is to find the real self. You have anxiety, my goal is to find the real self. You are in a pleasure, my goal is to find the real pleasure, to find the real self. Why? Pay attention. It's a little subtle, but not very difficult for you. You like pasta. You go and eat pasta, you get a pleasure. Now that pleasure is gone, but ignorance continues. What is that ignorance? That I get pleasure in eating pasta. So it creates an impression. It creates an impression. Now apply the same thing in your relationship. Honey says you something, you get upset, and that upset is gone, but ignorance continues. Why the ignorance continues? The mind still thinks, she or she has said me something. This is not good. Viveka is required. Viveka is required. What is that Viveka? Nobody can put me into anxiety and stress. Any relationship, any situation. Why? The world is inert. That is why Anubandha Chatushtaya. What is the subject matter? Who am I? That is my goal. What is the result? End of suffering, permanent peace and happiness. What do you mean by permanent peace and end of suffering? The word is known as nirvana, salvation, awakening, realization. And then what is nirvana? Self-knowledge. I am Sachidanand, I am the real self, I am of the nature of peace and happiness. Why? I am consciousness. Simple. That is how these masters deal with the outer situations. I told you a couple of times the story of the Buddha and this woman whose son died in return, and the Buddha played a trick that go and find out in this village. If in any home no one died, I will make your son alive. So he put that woman into contemplation and reflection. Oh, second home, couple of people died. Third home. So ultimately she realized the death of the body is certain. What is the death? It is the change. Nothing but it is not the death, it is constantly a change. I'm 65 now, so it means how many times my body has changed completely. Replaced, every cell has been replaced. So Anubandha Chatushtaya 14 to 15, and then we discussed about 16 to 20, explains that how we become a qualified seeker, and we discussed about the fourfold practices in detail, and from 21 to 23 topic we discussed that group of practices. There are thousands of practices in East and West. Kundalini, Hatha Yoga practice, and then breathing and pranayama. There are thousands of the mantras. What should I do? One master says choiceless awareness, other master says Kundalini awakening. So we have put all those practices into a category, lowest category. Second category for the purification of the mind. And ultimately, in the end are the three practices. What are the three practices? Shravan, Manan, and Nididhyasa. The highest practice when a seeker knows what it means by the purification of the mind. So we are now in the topic of Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasan, the three topics. What exactly is Shravan? What is the benefit of Shravan? What is the best way to Shravan? And what happens in the mind when we are listening and learning? So we are removing the ignorance pertaining to Shravan, pertaining to Manan, and pertaining to what exactly is. I told you, listening and learning is listening and learning. Can I rephrase it? Listening and learning based on Viveka and Vairagya is a preparation to meditation. I think I discussed about it, no? And repeat listening and learning guided by Viveka and Vairagya is meditation. Listening and learning to find the real self from a teacher is a preparation to meditation. Now I am rephrasing it. Listening and repeat listening and learning when you are alone. So there is no teacher there. In solitude or in aloneness, not loneliness. Repeat listening and learning with contemplation and reflection. The time comes that contemplation and reflection brings an end to all the thought process. You are absorbed into meditation. Where and when? Do you do the practice? No. The meditation, you enter into meditation. There is a warning Master gives here that intellectual learning is a dry learning. When we are with the teacher, we want to ask a lot of questions. Yes, it is good. But when you are repeat learning and listening, you are with yourself. That is why Master gives a lot of emphasis on repeat listening and learning, so that one day we find that we are already absorbed into meditative state with eyes open. I need not to prepare. I need not to follow any step. Think of this. Another way, real self is always in meditative state. It is not affected by pain and pleasure. And we are the real self. So it means somewhere in the mind we are still attached. That's why I am not able to reach to that state. How simple it is to understand. So once you have this statement that somewhere I am still attached, okay, wait, become aware, and then you will discover that either you are attached at the emotional level, family, social, wealth, and that attachment is pulling the mind outside, and that is preventing us to realize the real self. Remember the story of 10 students, the 10th man. So until we are at the 9th man, mind is still outside. Master rightly pointed out that yes, then mind says, Master, I bow down to that Master who says there is only binary format. Another Master says, it is like peeling an onion, layer by layer. All the layers are ninth man, until ninth. 10th is objectless state. In why we say, oh, we don't find anything. No, we don't find anything pertaining to the world. And that is why I find myself. There is no objectification by the mind. Body is there. Body is made up of matter. Matter is made up of particles. All particles are energy. But the knower of that energy is me. I'm the knower. I'm consciousness. Energy cannot be conscious. So when you go out into the world, don't become a consumer of that energy, because consumer means I'm already attached. Become a contributor. How? My goal is to find the real self in this situation, and let me see how can I contribute emotionally, physically, mentally, intellectually, socially, in my evolution, in this situation. Situation is good, let me grow out of this good situation. Situation is bad, let me still evolve. What is going to happen? The mind is not attacked by the outer forces. It is attacked by the outer forces because I am a consumer. Consumer means I have an expectation, I have an attachment, I have a desire. That is the meaning of consumer. Find out. Look deeply. Look deeply. Yesterday I was talking to someone, and yeah, she told her husband that why you are listening to this guy again and again. So this guy was listening 3 times. Every talk is finished, and the guy told me that he smiled and told his girlfriend, or wife, whatever it is, we have different labels, that it helps me to understand and assimilate the knowledge. And she raised a question, you heard him and you understood. So the guy said, the knowledge has to be realized. Knowledge has to be realized. And what prevents the realization of the knowledge? It is the same mind is a consumer. Mind is a consumer. So another way is to find out the cause and effect relationship. We don't find the cause. We are carried away by the effect, and the mind becomes a consumer. To give you an example, simple example, you can find other examples in your daily life. A tiger eats flesh, for example, of a deer. Deer eats grass, so the cause of that flesh is the grass. But the tiger cannot eat or does not eat grass. That is what is happening with us. I eat pasta or I like cheese. It is made up of the grass. Grass is fed to the cows. Cows gives you the milk and the milk is converted into butter. Can I see that? Now see the other part of it. I'm looking at you. Can my intellect become aware of this body? Ultimate cause of this body is the energy. So all your attachment, likes and dislikes with that person also dissolve. It's a little typical, but I'm coming to the topic of Shravan. The highest level of a seeker means it's a penetrating awareness by which I perceive the world. So in perceiving the world, I don't see the effect, I see the cause. Or I understand the seeing means understand the effect, understand the cause. So the entire world is nothing but energy with a different name and the form. With that different name and the form, I also become aware that I'm not a consumer, I'm a contributor. So when I'm a contributor, I have nothing to lose. I'm not a victim of any person's situation. When I'm not a victim of any person's situation, I'm free. I don't have anxiety. I don't have duality. I don't have conflict. Mind says, in this situation, you are a victim. Whether we get less money in the business, more money in the business, or in relationship, anything. And there you know, you can invoke the principle, oh, what I'm looking is the name and the form is mithya, is false. Mirage water, highway is running behind me. So I bring in this thought into my mind. Thought converts into a knowledge. What is knowledge? Is awareness. Now I need not to think. Even of anxiety, as you said, that when you say that I'm real self, I'm peace, it helps. Yes, it helps. See the understanding of my goal is to find the real self. Why? I'm okay. Whatever I am, it will not work. But when I say I want my goal, remember that goal all the time. I want to know real self, what it means by remembering. Again, come to the knowledge. We are removing the ignorance. What is this knowledge? This I want to know the real self means I want to be in peace and happiness all the time, in all the locations, in all the situations, in all my relationship. What it means? It means I am present everywhere. What it means, if I am present everywhere, Can the body be present everywhere? It is limited. Breath? No. Mind? No. Intellect? No. Ego? No. So what I'm looking for? Self-knowledge. Are you getting it? Self-knowledge. Self-knowledge. See, constantly just in our self-knowledge. So self-knowledge, 10th man. Self-knowledge is 10th man. So I become aware what prevents me not to be in that peace all the time, in all the locations. That is the ignorance. So I maintain that awareness. I can use the mithya, I can use the viveka, I can directly say that I am peace. It works. It works. So what happens? That knowledge. Mind is so much heavily conditioned to just the moment you wake up, you become a consumer. We are not connected. We are not connected. And that disconnection makes me a victim of the situation, people, relations, long list. I want to see what eyes and the pure mind sees. I don't add my preferences. If I add preferences, I am a consumer. And it is within the reach of the intellect. I know I have added some spices. I look at the beautiful girl, that is okay. It's quite interesting. My mind recalled, Narada was a great master. He has written a couple of great books on love, yoga of love. But when he was a seeker, he was a polymath. Polymath means that he was an expert in many branches of the science. Palmistry, he was number one. Astrologer, he was number one. It's a very important point of Shravana. So then he studied about meditation, yoga, etc. And then he said, I'm not happy and satisfied. So let me go to the originator of yoga, that is Shiva, and there I will learn it. So he was an intellectual guy. He kept all the information, like philosophers. There's a difference between philosopher and the seeker. So he told his concern to the Shiva that I want to be perfect in meditation. Understand, very important message, I record it. Shiva realized that Narada is not able to purify the mind. So he was over controlling his mind through the intellect. That is the dry knowledge. So Shiva said, go to that mountain. It is known as Kailasha. Shiva is known as, Shiva always lives in the Himalayas. And practice meditation there. Here is a mantra. He started practicing. Because of his intellectual power, he could bypass the extreme cold, air, He remained in the he he practiced meditation without any food for a couple of days, for weeks. He realized that nothing can disturb me from the world outside. He thought of himself that he is perfect in meditation. That is what a material man is looking for every day. I am a consumer, don't disturb me. I am a consumer, I got this much of money, don't disturb me. It's a hypocrisy. Anyhow, the Shiva told Narada that please don't tell your success in meditation to Vishnu. Vishnu. Vishnu is another originator of yoga. Do anything and everything. You have succeeded. Because when you are not listening to me, then you have succeeded. Now see, this is happening all the time in our life. But this is told so beautifully in a story. So now I succeeded in meditation. Why I am disturbed? Then you are not success. No, but I keep a blind eye. No, I was absorbed in meditation. Yesterday I saw the vision of God. Then what happened now? Why you have a vision of demon now? Anyhow, there was a king who was looking for Narada because he was a palmist, he was a great astrologer, to find out what is written in the hands of the princess, the daughter of the king, so that he could marry, he could find the right match. You will be blown away when we read these stories. I have not read all the Puranas. Puranas means that I have to read more than 20,000 pages. But little I have read. So Narada was invoked and invited. So now Narada told the princess, the daughter of the king, oh, show me your hand. So he put the hand in his hand. Why he has gone there? To predict. To predict. So the first part he did it very well. He predicted that whosoever marry your daughter will become famous in the world, will have all kinds of prosperity, wealth, etc. He predicted it. First part is good. He left the kingdom, but while leaving the kingdom, his mind said, what I predicted? It's such a beautiful story. That is what happens to all of us. That is why it is important for Shravana. So while going out of the king palace, his mind started thinking what I predicted. Oh, I predicted that whosoever will marry this girl will become famous in the world, will have all kinds of the wealth. Now his mind said, why can't I be? That is so beautiful. That makes me anxious because now I'm a consumer. So we live our life, personal, professional, social life. Sometimes we are totally professional. We give the best advice, we offer the best service, we are happy, we are satisfied. So now you see that Narada went to Vishnu. And he exposed himself that I went to Shiva and I practiced meditation. Now I am a successful meditator. But now there is one problem. So what is the problem? The problem is that I want to marry this girl. Vishnu said, what should I do? So Narada told Vishnu that you make me most handsome person in the world. You give me the best jewelries to put on my body so that I can participate in the marriage competition of this girl. So he has already told Vishnu that I succeeded in meditation. So that is in contrast with that I am already attached. This is what happens every day in our life. Every day, in different situations. So Vishnu said, I agree with you because you are a great monk, so I will abide by your request and I will do the same. So he made him most handsome and put the most costly clothes with all the jewelries. Because everyone believes Vishnu, only one thing he did. Have you heard that story before?
No.
That will help you to understand the entire understanding what exactly the Shravanam means. He did the best to Narada, except one thing. But before that, I will tell you what happens, when we are deeply attached to some opposite sex, when we want to express that, I'm your soulmate, I love you, it becomes very difficult. Our face expression, we start dreaming, we have many fancies in our mind. That continues. So our face expression, every time it changes the moment we meet our so-called the dream girl or a dream boy. It becomes, can we have a cup of tea? You have gone to him or her to say I love you, and now you are saying, oh, can I have a cup of tea with you? Come on. Or can we go there to walk together? No, your main thing is that I love you. Means I'm attached to you. It becomes difficult. Your face expression changes. Your eyes, your face expression, your talk, your thought. That is a representation of a monkey face. So he made Narada the most handsome person with arms, with clothes, with jewelries, except his face. He converted his face into a monkey face. Now I made you the most handsome person. Go and compete. We don't see into the mirror. Means we don't introspect, we don't reflect that I am deeply attached. Hold on, let me drop the attachment, then I will talk to you. So he never saw himself into the mirror. We don't see. There is a famous love story in India which is known as Heer and Ranjha. Ranjha was a boy who loved the ugliest women at that time. The king invited him, and king said, what the hell you are doing? You are in love with the ugliest women. I can invite lot of girls. You choose one. So the boy said, you cannot see the beauty of this girl unless you see it through my eyes. That is the extreme attachment. That causes the anxiety. Anyhow, so he was there among 10 people. Narada was also sitting. So Narada was full of ego. Oh, I went to Shiva and I went to Vishnu. And that is what we make ourselves, Now I have everything, I have house. And don't you see that, I'm intelligent. That's why I built such a big house. So our ego causes the disturbances in the mind. It is the ignorance we don't realize. So that girl now with a big flower garland started looking each and every eligible bachelors to get married. So his was the second number. He rejected second number. Narada said, how come it is possible that this girl did not put the garland into my neck? That means that I have chosen you to marry. And ultimately he put the garland into the 10th boy. Narada got annoyed. Now you know. That is what happened here. What happened? I told you that that guy who said that I gave 200% to that girl. I said, why? Who told you? And then she stopped talking to her. She took away a lot of money, and she is not talking to me. At least, you know. So this boy was telling me that, you see, sir, even if she calls me and she says that I have taken your money, I will be happy. But she is not calling. She is not picking up my phone. Why? Because you have given 200%. Now she is calm. She is relaxing. He is relaxing. So Narada got annoyed, anxious, angry, agitated, because I'm participating as a consumer. So other people said, have you seen yourself into the mirror? And when he saw himself into the mirror, he found it's a monkey face. And Narada cursed Vishnu. You will continue to suffer because your wife will be hijacked by Ravana of Ramayana. Vishnu took avatar, reincarnation as the Lord Rama. So when Vishnu took reincarnation as a Rama, wife Sita was hijacked by Ravana, by the demon. You know this story. They all are symbolic of my plight, what is going on in my mind. Once I am deeply attached to anything, I will become the victim of attachment. That object will definitely be taken away. Indirectly, directly. You are still living with your partner, but you don't talk. That is also taken away. So what is the entire journey of the summary of this story? That any time and every time the ignorance takes over the mind, we lose that knowledge, and that perception is polluted by the projection, and I see the mithya as real. That causes me the anxiety. So either it is returning because of the current impression you have lived your life, or it is coming from prarabdha. So sometime I see that I'm living my life, very calm and relaxed, and everything is good. And what happened to me, I'm just getting upset. That is prarabdha. And when I relate my anxiety to a current situation, it is because of my past impression in this life. And I tackle these both by understanding. So now Shravan. So that is one way. I have already explained by example what is Shravan. So when we explain what exactly is that is topic number 24 to 28, is all about Shravan, Manan and Nididhyasana. We have been listening and learning, but now we are understanding the truth behind the Shravan. That is the beauty. That is the beauty of this master. Any thought passed on to by the master to help us to know the real self is Shravan. So I keep my focus there internally. I don't don't become Narada listening the story of Narada. Or if I remember something happened like the same in my life also, it gives me viveka. Oh, that is why, you see that how I was depressed, how I was stressed. It is nothing to do with the relationship with the boy and the girl. It can be the money in the business, it can be the relationship with the mother or anything. That is the story, symbolic. I'm into anxiety means I have a big monkey face. So I have to check how many times I have a monkey face every day. Look at it, how beautiful. Oh my goodness, I'm into anxiety. I have a monkey face. No, let me return. Let me return. Let me become aware. No, no, no. That's not good. And you remember, you recall, you understand, and it is gone. Now it's a play and a fun for you to get rid of the anxiety, to get rid of the anger, to get rid of the duality and a conflict. Monkey face has changed. Monkey face has changed. Now see, before we go further, so we have to do Shravan, means listening and learning is always focused on the real self, directly, indirectly, by the story, by argument, by reasoning, by finding the cause and effect. And it will take a long time if we do not create any model to remove that ignorance. First model, 3 states of the mind, the waking, dream, and the sleep, and the 4th is the real self. We are pointing, you see the model. 3 bodies, physical, subtle, and the causal bodies. What after that? Real self. You see the model. Panch kosha, 5 sheath. What is beyond that? Emptiness of an onion. Panch kosha. Binary format is also the same. Only one consciousness. And the rest is the matter. So we will also understand now Shravan, another part of the Shravan. You have to pick up, you have to keep these simple principles. After so long time, we have reached to that what exactly is Shravanam. Because you cannot tell in the beginning. Mind is already polluted by the impurity of the mind. So in Shravanam, the seeker maintains an awareness. Teacher is talking about the world or beyond the world. I have a constant awareness as a seeker. You are listening and learning from a teacher. So 2 kinds of listening. First kind of listening, which connects and defines our relationship with this world. And the other, which is beyond the world. So what is beyond the world is the real self again. What I'm going to say, do you have any idea? In the first type of listening, why the master? This master is really the craziest. So he says now he has divided 2 types of hearing, listening about the world, and one is listening about what is beyond the world. Now see how he puts the logic, and it makes it very clear. In the first type of listening, our sense organs, our mind, our intellect, our ego are involved. in the other type of listening, my pure mind is involved. Or you can say my heart is involved. 99.9% of our listening belongs to the first category. First category. Routine, casual. I'm listening to you. How? Through my ears, but I'm not aware what is behind my ears. Who is the listener? Second type of listening. Are you getting it? Second type of the listening makes me the highest level of a seeker. It's so simple. I see you. So my mind says, no, I see you. My eyes are intact. My mind is okay. So I'm listening to you. No, no, what is behind the mind? That is seeing you. I forget that. So listening or Shravan, you can say, is an art. It demands awareness and attention to see what is behind the senses, the mind, the intellect. In order to do that, the mind has to be pure, humble, highly receptive, so that not only it can receive the knowledge, it can assimilate the knowledge even while listening, is what exactly is listening in. It is simple for a seeker and it is impossible for a non-seeker. You see how intelligently he this explains. One type of listening, you are engaged with all the five sense organs, five motor organs, mind, intellect, ego, I thought, behavior, attitude, impurities, everything pertaining to the world. But I forget what is behind the word. Forgetfulness is ignorance. Ignorance means misconception. Misconceptions mean, no, I see you through my eyes. No. If the consciousness is not there, you cannot see me. Consciousness is not there, you cannot listen to me. I cannot move my hand. When I say I, so one I is an individual who perceives the world, and in the same I there is other I is hidden. That is the real I, which is the consciousness. In its presence everything is happening, and I am awakened. When? Here and now. What I have to do? Simply listen to that is where the highest